I'm not sure if there's another name for this plant, but in my country, from Philippines, we call this oregano. But I'm pretty sure I was able to watch one video. I think they call it in another name. This plant is has another name. I don't know if it's a Latin name or what name, but for now, I'm just gonna use oregano. So this plant originally came from the Philippines. I got it from the Philippines. So my sister brought a stem and then grow it in her house, and then she cut the stem. She cut the stem, a matured stem like this, and then replanted it in other pots. And then when she had enough of this oregano, like several pots, he decided to give me one. And then, so I decided to adopt that one oregano. It was just like the plant is just like one stem like this. It is already survived and alive. So my sister gave it in a small pot. So I just decided to put it upstairs in our attic. There's a light there, but it's not always enough light. So my oregano grows very thin, but it still survive. Now I'm gonna give you a tip how to grow this oregano indoor and outdoor. But before I'm gonna give you the tip, I don't know if everybody would believe, but most of my friends do and my relatives. I learned it from my grandmother and mother. We actually use these oregano leaves as a herbal medicine. It's like there's several ways to use it as herbal medicine. You can either cook it, boil it, or just squish it and squish it to get the watery part of the plant. Use it as a medicinal or medicine. So what I did, got it. Remember now. So actually these leaves, you can just grab 1 leaves, 2 leaves, 10 leaves, and then in my country and even me here, my sister and me, we do that. What we do is we grab the leaves and then we squish it to get the liquid from the leaves, and we drink it straight, like pure liquid, concentrated liquid from the leaves. Then we drink it, and you wonder what kind of medicinal benefit you can get from this oregano. But from my own experience and my family's experience and my friends' experience, this oregano leaves is a herbal medicine. It is good for curing your cough. If you are coughing, if you have phlegm, dry cough, or anything that is related about your lungs, throat, that causes you to cough, causes you to have asthma, that causes you to have a thick phlegm or mild phlegm. So we usually drink this. So what I do in my part is, I don't like that. Actually, the liquid form of these leaves is, when you do it, squish it fresh. I don't like the taste. It's not taste. It's not bitter or taste bad, but I just don't like the taste. So what I do is, I boil it. So I got a few pieces, probably 5 pieces of the leaves. If I have so much leaves, then I can put 10 pieces, and then cut it in my hands, and then boil it in the 2 cups of water. Then I drink it as a tea. That's how I use these plants. I can grow it indoor now and then transfer it outdoor during the summer. It perfectly survived. And then I can just grow it indoor. So number 1 tip, you can grow oregano outdoor the whole year without problem. It can perfectly grow. You can also grow this oregano indoor the whole year or several years without a problem, for as long it is placed in a location like this where there is enough lights. It's better if there's a exposure on the sunlight where the heat from the sun goes through the window, it received by your plant, then your oregano will survive indoor for the full year. And you can also grow oregano from indoor during winter and then going to the outdoor during summer with no problem at all. The plant can easily adjust in any weather, because some indoor plants, remember, I don't know if some of the people who watching here are trying the indoor planting and outdoor planting. So there are several plants that when you planted it for a long time indoor, then you decided to put it in the outdoor during summer, sometimes the plant cannot survive, they die. But good news, this oregano, without any adjustment, for as long as the weather is 15 degrees Celsius plus 15 degrees Celsius outside, this oregano will survive immediately. And in fact, I just discovered like at plus 7 degrees Celsius, this actually plus 5. At the plus 5 degrees Celsius, this oregano plants still can survive the weather, a very cold weather, except for winter or plus 2 degrees Celsius, then it will die. Now, first thing, yeah, one of my tip is, if you're planning to plant an oregano, you make sure that you just cut the stem, okay? That's the tip I can give you. Cut the stem and then make sure the stem is matured. The more the stem is matured, the more it will survive. So you see this? So this is a green one, right? If it is still like light green thing, maybe it can survive, but there's a slim chance. But if you planted the stem like this, see, it's a brown. If you see the stem like this, like dark brown, then it is a matured stem. You can cut this stem. See, it's almost brown. This is a good stem that from here you can cut it here. Then this part you can plant it under the soil. Then it will survive. Okay, don't plant the oregano if it's very green. Actually, even though it's very green, it survives. But the better of survival for the plants to grow is if you cut the matured part of the stem. Second, if you're growing it indoor, make sure don't water it too much. As much as you can, you just water. See this? See? So my soil is not, see, it's not too very dry. It's not too wet. So make sure your soil is not too wet or too moist. And believe me, oregano survives even your soil is a little bit dry. If your oregano just dry up for, let's say, 2 days, still can survive. But if it's too wet, like always wet or too moist, too much water, then your oregano will die slowly. Okay? So remember that. You just water it like, let's say, this type of oregano, right? I put it in probably half a liter of water. Then I have to wait 3 to 4 days before I water it again. Mostly I do it every 4th day. So a half liter of water today, then I have to wait 4 days for another half liter of water. So don't water it too often and don't make your soil too wet. And it's not a problem if your soil is sometimes a little bit dry. Oregano loves a little bit dry soil. Second, you planted in a place with enough lights, or if there's a sunlight. But in my own experience, this oregano survived even though with not too much light. Even just light without the sun, but for as long as there's light there from the window, still your oregano will survive. But if you planted in a dark place for a long time without the proper lights, then sooner or later, after a few months, your oregano will die. And then, if this oregano grows as much as 6 feet or more than 6 feet. So last year, my oregano reached the ceiling. That's how tall it is. Probably that's about 5 feet to 6 feet. And it even can grow more than that. I just cut it because there's no more space to grow up. So you just so make sure every year you have to trim down your oregano because they grow so fast, right? So once a year you have to cut some of the stem or cut down some of the stem that are too tall and cut some of the stem that are like too old. You cut those so there can be a new stem growing, a fresh new stem. Because once the oregano stem are so old, sometimes they still produce a stem and leaves, but they are like smaller. But if you cut the old stem to regrow a new stem, then they will be healthy. So this is where my oregano survive, near the window with enough lights and not too much water. And actually, it actually has after 10 years, it produces flower. See? And one of my friends told me that oregano, because of its nice smell, it really smells so good. It is good for, mosquito don't like it. So if you don't like mosquito in your house, so you better plant oregano.